Hey you guys, what's up? It's Rocketos54 here, and welcome to mine and Nathan's scary movie binge for yeah, it's
It's
2021.
2021. There you
Yeah,
go.
for 2021. We did one last year. Who knows if this will end up becoming a yearly series? I have no idea.
It'd be cool.
We plan to watch four movies tonight. We don't know if we'll be able to watch all four, but we're going to start off with the first one, and that is Muck. You guys would have heard me talk about this in one of my horror pack unboxings when I opened it. You wouldn't have heard me talk about how good it was because I don't really review these after I open them. But yeah, we're gonna be watching this, and this movie's horrible. It is truly, truly awful, but it has some really, really funny, like ironically good scenes in it, and
I haven't seen it. Like the point, like he's gonna show me two. I haven't seen that he has, and I'm gonna do vice versa. So this is one that he's seen that he wants me to watch for some reason.
yeah, I don't even remember like a huge, huge amount about it, but I just remember thinking, I'm like, Nathan, I have to show you this during our next Halloween movie night, because I just remember this movie being absolutely horrible and so laughably bad.
I like how there's a rake groping a woman's ass on the cover. By the way,
Yeah,
that's pretty great.
this cover never really made sense to me either, but
No, Liam, there's ass.
yes, I see it.
There you go. That's you don't need a point. There you go.
They also have a Playboy Playmate of the Year in this movie as well, and I heard that the premiere for this movie was actually at the Playboy Mansion, believe it or not. But yeah, so we're gonna watch Muck right now, and then once it's done, we will update you with our thoughts. So we'll see you then.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. So we just finished watching Muck, and yeah. I mean, as my thoughts on this one haven't really changed much. I mean, it's pretty bad, but I'd say it's definitely one of the most watchable of all the bad movies. I had a lot of fun watching it this time around. It's bad, but it's very, very enjoyable. Nathan, what do you think? Okay.
So that is what I think of Muck. Director, learn what lighting is, because I couldn't see half of this fucking movie. I couldn't see half of it. The writing was abysmal. There's more shots of women ass than there is of anything else in this movie. It's almost just porn. It really is almost just pornography. You're introduced to these creatures, and there's no explanation as to what they are. Are they cannibals? I don't fucking know. Are they a cult? I don't fucking know. Because the film does nothing to explain it. Oh, and the worst thing is the ending to the film. When they say, I'm gonna spoil it. If you don't want to hear spoilers from Muck, don't watch Muck. There's a thing where they're like, oh, these creatures are afraid of the marsh, and then it's like, oh my god, there's something bubbling in the marsh, and then the movie ends. You don't see what's in the marsh. It's like, what was the fucking producer farting in the water and bubbles were popping? What the fuck is this movie? Ugh.
I don't think he's okay. Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
so anyway, the next film we're going to be watching is Censor.
Yeah, this is one of my recommendations. It's one of my favorite films of the year. It's a British kind of, well, it is a horror film, a British horror film.
Yeah, Nathan said this was his favorite movie of the year before Titan came
Yeah,
out.
this was like by a long margin my favorite film of the year, and then Titan just kind of surpassed it. So
Yeah, so we have it queued up right now. We realized we forgot to film our reactions to Muck, so that's why we're filming this clip now. But yeah, we're gonna get started with Censor. Hopefully it's good. The plot sounds pretty intriguing. So yep, we're gonna be watching Censor and then giving you guys our thoughts right after.
maybe not right after, but later.
All right, so we just finished watching Censor. My thoughts on it. The weird thing was, I thought that for the first like two acts of the movie, it should have like had a bit more of I don't know. I almost thought it should have had a bit more of a focus on something, but I also like my brain felt so tired for some of it, so that might have affected my opinion. I don't really know why my brain would be so tired, but the third act it definitely perks you up if you haven't been paying attention. It's the third act of this movie is really crazy and one that I really admired, and the movie's really visually beautiful. I thought it looked really, really cool. The theme of like the main character being like a film censor and like the subject of video nasties is very, very it's very interesting and kind of disturbing too. Like when you just think back to that like whole time in culture when like those were like really really popular. Um, yeah, I would definitely see this again. Maybe when my brain would be a little more awake. I would give this, I think, a 3 out of 5, almost a 3.5. But yeah, no, I thought it was good. I just wanted something a little more out of the first two acts. I mean, I assume your opinion hasn't changed much.
No, I was hoping to give it like a perfect rating, but I didn't. There's something holding it back for me. I said this in my original review on Letterboxd that I felt like Censor was a really good critique on the media and how we perceive violence in film and how we think that inspires people to be violent in nature, which isn't true. The film throughout is like implementing this message because throughout the film, actually, no, I'm not going to talk. I'll talk to you about it later. I don't want to spoil anything
Yeah.
about the movie, but throughout, you can tell it's in the era of video nasties and crime spike in Britain that people thought were about the video nasties. And throughout the whole movie, I kept thinking of the time when Joker was released and everyone was saying how dangerous of a movie it
Oh
was.
yeah, yeah.
I find Censor to be a necessary critique on the media and how people don't necessarily maybe understand the actual real life consequences of violence in film, because I don't think there are many. I don't think nobody was going out and like clown painting shooting people after they saw Joker, right?
Yeah.
If this was actually like a crime spree that caused by the video nasties, I'm not sure. But I think it's more relevant to today's time. Yeah, the film is gorgeous. It is beautiful to look at. The direction is magnificent. And the lead actress, I thought, did a phenomenal job.
She was quite good,
Yeah,
yeah.
the third act, I really love how they play with aspect ratio in the
Yeah, I
third
was
act
gonna
as
say
well.
they were It Comes at Nighting
Yeah.
us throughout the movie, I thought.
The lighting is lots of reds, lots of purples, lots of blues, and it perfectly immerses you in the world that it's set up. I love it. I cannot find a Blu-ray to save my life of it, but I do love the movie. I would give about a 9 out of 10, almost a 10, but not quite there yet.
Yeah, so we're gonna take a break before we start the next movie. We're not sure which one we're gonna be watching yet, but that will be decided once we decide it. So we'll see you guys in a sec when we've decided. All right, guys. So we forgot to do a transition into the next movie we ended up watching. We didn't end up watching four movies tonight. We only did three. Um, the fourth movie we were gonna watch tonight would have been Tusk, but we decided we didn't really want to burn ourselves out by watching four, so we only did three. Um, and we forgot to transition into this third one by saying which one it was, but we ended up just finishing *Malignant*, which was James Wan's newest movie. I've always liked James Wan's movies, like Saw is one of my favorites of all time. I didn't like Dead Silence, and then the first two Insidiouses are okay. The first two Conjurings are good, and I really enjoyed Furious 7 as well as Aquaman. So I've been a fan of James Wan's films for the most part. The thing is with this movie, I wasn't liking it for quite a while because during this thing, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, okay, I'm like, oh, this is pretty entertaining. This is cool. I respect this. And then it just kind of goes almost into a bit of nothing territory, and I thought, okay, this isn't leaning in one direction or the other. It's like some of the Fast and Furious movies where they like teeter between the line because I'm not even gonna lie, there were some people that were calling this the showgirls of horror, and I can totally see where they're coming from because there's some incredibly silly scenes in this movie. Like there was one scene that I just thought was absolutely hilarious because of like the certain attributes they gave a certain thing that I'm just like, what the hell? Like this is almost like James Wan's trying to be self-aware or something, which I've never really seen him do in his horror films, but um as I said, I was like, it's not going in one direction or the other. The last 20 minutes of this movie will basically save like the entire thing. It is still, a little bit, as I said, when I said it doesn't really teeter in one direction or the other, it is a little bit, iffy in that regard, but just as a whole, like it's entertaining, it's good, it's got some really great gore, and as I said, the last 20 minutes will probably change your mind at least a little. And it definitely changed it for me because I really, really respect what James Wan did here. Like, I truly believe that there will never be another movie like this, ever. I don't think you can replicate something like this if you tried. And it's like I wish there would be more movies that would kind of take these risks that would be absolutely nuts that you have no idea what would be coming in the last little bit. But I would say I enjoyed Malignant overall. As I said, still some issues with, most of, I don't know, maybe the middle, I'd say. I definitely want to see this film again at some point, knowing what I know now. I think I would give Malignant probably a 3.5 out of 5. I was thinking about a 3, but just given how great the last 20 minutes were, and just like how much I really respect the risks it took, I definitely say I enjoyed this. I might pick up the 4K when it comes out, actually. So, Nathan, now you get into your thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, so I saw the film when it came out in theaters, and since seeing it, I've actually been really itching to see it again. The thing I was really excited about is that James Wan is in a really unique position in Hollywood where I think he's in like a horror niche that like a bunch of like really good bunch of film enthusiasts and like film critics or film experts love him, and then the mainstream loves him because of stuff like The Conjuring and Insidious and like Aquaman. So he's in a position where I think whatever script he makes, as long as his name's kind of attached to it, it'll most likely get made. And one thing I really appreciate about this film is just how batshit insane and really unique it is. I really love the fact that I can comfortably say, even though I said this to Liam, I said it's like he took the Saw and The Conjuring and sprinkled in a little Aquaman, and that's Malignant. But that doesn't do the film any justice because there's not a film like this. I have issues with it. I do think there's a lot of moments that don't make sense in the grand scheme of like the actual outcome of the film and what the film actually was. Without getting into spoilers, there's certain elements or certain like frames that you see where when you think about it, you go, well, that doesn't make sense, given what we know now. As a mystery film and as a horror film, I think James Wan perfectly succeeded. He is a good director in terms of his technicals. Like I really do love the way he shot the film and the way the film looks. I love the cinematography to it. I think Anna Wells.
Annabelle Wallace is
Annabelle
her name.
Wallace, thank you. Sorry, I did not know her name. Annabelle Wallace is good in moments in the film. There's points where I find her acting to be a little bland. I know she's worked with James Wan a few times, so that's probably why she got the job, but she's good overall. There's moments to her performance where she comes across, I guess, a little bland. Like maybe they just did the wrong take or they didn't do enough takes for her. The best part of this film, I would say, is just the fact that when I first saw it, I thought to myself, well, there's moments where there's just dumb jump scares and dumb moments like that, like in The Conjuring, which I just didn't really like. But rewatching it now, I changed my mind on it, I guess, because like the jump scares felt more prominent to the story, and there's a lot of visuals to the jump scares that work, I guess. Like there's moments where you'll see the creature pop out, and it makes sense in the grand scheme of the movie without, I guess, spoiling it or anything. I think those big plot holes and just moments in the script where I kind of rolled my eyes a little are holding it back from me giving it a higher than a 7 out of 10, but I think it's definitely deserving of a 7 out of 10. As someone who isn't a huge James Wan fan, the only film I really love from him is Saw. This is definitely one of his better works for me. It's probably my second favorite film that I've seen of his, though I do need to see The Conjurings again. I would recommend it. Go into it knowing you're going to get something really wacky, I suppose.
Trying to think of where this would place on my James Wan list because I'm trying to go through his filmography. Like there's Saw, there's Dead Silence.
Yo, who do you think would win in a fight, Gabriel or Aquaman?
Um,
Yo, does the fight take place in water because Aquaman wins?
well, yeah, for sure. But yeah, there's Saw, there's Dead Silence. I haven't seen Death Sentence, and then there was Insidious, Insidious 2, The Conjuring, Conjuring 2, Furious 7, and then Aquaman. I think this might be my second or third least favorite James Wan movie. No, it would be my third or fourth least favorite because I didn't love Insidious Chapter 3 and I didn't like Dead Silence. I mean, Insidious Chapter 2. Um, but I don't know if this is better than The Conjuring or not. I'd have to think about it. I think The Conjuring might be better because I think I had less issues with that. But even me saying that it's in my bottom half of James Wan's filmography, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It's a very crazy ride because it's like, it really plays with what you're gonna think of it. As I said, like the last 20 minutes, like really, really pick up. And that's the thing, like the ending can really leave like a lasting impact on you. Like with a movie like, say, The Mist, I hated most of that movie. I was so annoyed at all the characters. They were just making me want to scream at the TV. And then the ending to the movie was so damn good that it made me rethink my entire thoughts on the movie. I still haven't rewatched it since then. I probably should.
I mean, the ending can like save a film, and like especially with a film like *Malignant*, the build up to the reveal in the third act and the climax. I remember looking over at you when the big reveal happened. Your jaw was like just wide
mhm.
open.
Yeah, that was pretty
When
nuts.
I was in the theater and the big reveal happened, I think I told you this. A bunch of like teenage girls went, "Oh my god!" And I was just like this kind of. And I was like, "That's great."
But yeah, guys, so that's the end of our scary movie binge for this year. I think it definitely went a lot better than it did last year. Because well, I mean that'd be up to you to decide. Because because the ones we watched last year was like,
I didn't like any of them except Neighbor Before Christmas. Yeah.
well, you like Jeepers
Oh
Creepers
fuck! I forgot we watched that. Yeah.
because we watched that.
I didn't like Halloween too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I at least thought all of them were good. So,
Except Muck.
well, I
Oh,
meant from last year.
last year, yeah. And this
Um,
year, Muck you.
but yeah, so anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And remember, you guys,
Whenever buying jellyfish eyes,
say no to drugs, I guess.
there you go.